Manipulating the zones in which you do your cardio is one of the biggest levers that you can pull for overall conditioning and training your body to use different energy systems like fat versus carbs. We think that, okay, well, eating low carb or fasting, things like that, yeah, that could be very beneficial for training your body to use different energy systems. But one of the biggest possible levers we could pull is exposing ourselves to different intensities. And there's one particular intensity when it comes down to cardio that is exceptionally good at training our body to use fats at other times. You see, some forms of cardio, yeah, we get to burn fat during the cardio session, or we get to burn carbs during the cardio session, whatever. But there's one specific zone that trains our body to use fat after the fact. So let's go ahead and break it down. It's very interesting and have a practical tool for you to be able to use as you go forward. After today's video, check out Thrive Market. You can save 30% off your entire grocery order. And they are an online membership-based grocery store. So you just go online, you search for whatever foods you want, or you shop by category, you shop by different kind of diet, you could shop by different kind of baked goods, frozen, whatever, super easy, and it gets delivered to your doorstep. But the best part is you're saving 30% off using my special discount link down below because they have been a sponsor of this channel for 6 years and they are awesome. And they really pay it forward to my fans and my viewers. So that link is down below in the description. Plus, you get a $50 free gift when you use that link as well. So the magic secret sauce is really that zone 2. Okay, we're talking like 60 to 75% of your VO2 max. So really like zone 2, you should be at a light jog where you could still kind of like hold a conversation quite well. Okay, zone 3, you start to huff and puff when you're having a conversation. Now, I've talked about this in other videos, but let me give a quick reference here. Zone 2 is where your body is still utilizing fat fairly well. And if you envision a steam train plugging along, old school, where you've got a guy shoveling coal into the engine, okay, when he's shoveling coal, the big blocks of coal are fat and the small blocks of coal are carbs. Okay, it's easy to shovel the small blocks of coal, but you just got to move really fast to keep up. It's hard to shovel the big blocks of coal. But the thing is, with zone 1 and zone 2 cardio, things are moving slow enough that he can actually shovel the big lump of coal, put it in, and he's gonna be fine because everything is moving, the train's moving slow enough that he can move slow. What this simply means is that the body is able to utilize fat better. Well, that's not anything that's rocket science. Okay, anyone that's been around the block for a little bit knows that beta oxidation, where our body uses fats, is usually occurring at relatively low intensities. But zone 2 gets thrown under the bus a lot. It gets thrown under the bus because it says, oh, it's kind of this gray area zone that doesn't really do much. Wrong. Zone 2, and Peter Attia will attest to this. Dr. Peter Attia is a big fan of zone 2. Zone 2 has a huge benefit when it comes down to conditioning the body. So check this out. The Journal of Applied Physiology had published a paper taking a look at high intensity exercise compared to non-exercise compared to zone 2 low intensity exercise for 12 weeks. Ultimately, what they found is that at the end of the 12 weeks, the people that did the zone 2 cardio ended up being able to utilize fat 40% more effectively during exercise. Not necessarily during the actual exercise bout they're talking about, but essentially it conditioned their bodies to be able to utilize fat better. Zone 2 was almost like an accelerated fast on their body. You think of the effects of fasting on our body, right? Like as far as it goes with upregulating mitochondrial machinery and upregulating the systems and processes that make our body good at burning fat. Well, cardio can do that too. And zone 1 cardio can certainly make us good at using fat during the cardio itself. But zone 2 actually develops systems and processes like upregulation of or increases in carnitine palmitoyl transferase 1, allowing these transporters to actually allow fat to get into the cell better. So therefore making it so that when you do cardio at a later date, you're better at using fat and you tap into the fat quicker. This is a very, very important thing. And there was also a study published in the journal Physiology that took a look at zone 2 as sort of a something that helps us out in terms of other arenas of exercise and just kind of fitness level. He found that it actually helps preserve creatine stores and also reduces the level of lactate during exercise. Now, the reason behind this is because if the body is more efficient at using fats, what's going to happen is it's going to have less need to go into anaerobic glycolysis really early on. So if the body has the ability to utilize fats for the lion's share of a workout, that means that you're going to have less instance of anaerobic glycolysis, depending on the intensity, of course, which would trigger lactate to form. When lactate forms, that is something that has to be cleared, has to be reduced, has to be dealt with. So in essence, by conditioning your body to get good at using fats, you can buffer where you fatigue a little bit better. So this is great on all counts because it means you can go and exercise longer and still utilize fat. So what does zone 2 look like? What should you be doing? One of the best things you could do is go for a walk on an incline. There's low concussion, you're really tapping into that zone 2, and you're really being able to sustain it for a fair bit of time. Now, the problem that we face is people are going to say, okay, well, this isn't exactly time effective. I want to go do high intensity interval training because high intensity interval training is going to get me more in the way of bang for the buck. That is not inaccurate. Okay, I do agree that time efficiency is important. And just to give you context here, zone 2 cardio is great for the overall metabolic kind of conditioning and training the body to use fats. I recommend doing that, 2, 3, 4 days per week. Zone 4 high intensity interval training is going to be very good at building that efficiency and mitochondrial biogenesis. So what I would recommend is 2 to 4 days per week, do 30 to 60 minutes of zone 2 cardio, and then 2 to 3 days per week, do some zone 4 style high intensity interval training. Don't go all the way to the max, go right below the max, something that you could sustain for maybe a minute or so, and then take however much time off you need to recover to be able to do that again for another minute. Okay, the zone 2 should be fun. It should be something you can do with friends and still communicate. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.